Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. It is Saturday, 12/26, the day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a blessed Christmas. We are actually doing In the Spotlight today. It's the last one of the year before we start heading into 2021. So like I said, just want to say some prayers and thoughts to the people out in Nashville. I know there was an incident yesterday. So just want to go ahead and send out positive vibes for that. But I hope everybody's doing well, and just kind of want to look at chat and just say hello to everybody. Christina, Umpty, how are you guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, we'll give some people a chance to kind of get in here. Like I said, one of the things that I wanted to make sure as I did this show, the end of the year, I wanted to make sure that the guests I have coming on today, like I said, they play a huge role in the community, and I wanted to have an opportunity to sit down and just kind of reflect back on the year and just kind of touch bases and look forward to what 2021 has. So before I bring them on, just want to say a couple of quotes in regards, because I will introduce them, but we're going to go ahead and kick this show off with our intro. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, like I said, so we have Mama J and SPECTRE today. And obviously, like I said, I welcome everybody. I'm glad that they're here today. But just want to kind of touch and reflect a little bit. My mom raised me. My dad was probably in my life sparingly, but there were moments, there was things that he gave me, my horror, which was really important. And I do remember some things with my dad, but my mom was the rock. My mom was the one who made sure, I became the person I was today. And so I want to be able to get into that a little bit today as well. So these quotes, I found, just want to kind of touch on. So when a son speaks, the mother hears the love in his voice. Sons make mistakes, but there is no mistake for the love for their mother. I adore his smile. I cherish his hugs. I admire his heart. But most of all, I love he is my son. He holds my hand for a little while, but my son holds my heart forever. And me being a dad as well, I know how important it is to have children and be a family. So I would also like to just say, this is a great opportunity to sit down with these two. So I'd like to introduce SPECTRE. And then, of course, I would love to introduce Mama J. And let me go ahead and I have so many of these, so I just want to make sure I got the right one. And welcome to the show, Mama J and SPECTRE. How are you guys?
We're good, Eric. How are you?
I am doing well. So did you guys have a pretty good Christmas?
Yes. Yeah. We went and spent it over at my parents' house.
Okay. So obviously, one of the things I just kind of wanted to touch on was, this year, has been an interesting year for all of us. But we've also had some good things this year. And part of that is being in the community and having the community come together. And, a lot of people in this community, if they pointed in a direction, it would be towards you guys, Mom, J, and SPECTRE, for being the glue, for being somebody that has cared and always wanted to make sure that there's something going on, there's support, there's a lot of things that the community has to look forward to. So I definitely would love to just kind of touch bases with you guys a little bit on that. And we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the chat and just say hi to everybody. So Geeky Mama Bear, Umpty Scratch, Andrew Weeble, Christina Payne. Just want to go ahead and say hi to you guys. Let me go ahead and also wanted to just kind of touch bases on this as well. Because like I said, Mama J, raising a child, is not easy, and especially when you do it alone. And I know my mom did that for me, and God bless her heart, because she put everything she could into it. So I can only imagine, the effort that went into with you and Spectre, and obviously seeing the results from Spectre. He's a fine young man. So I wanted to pull this up. So let me here.
Hello. Hi, Mother. Oh, hi, Mom. I've been busy.
Mom? Hi, I can't talk. I'm running out. I'm exercising. May I call you back? Yes, I'm just through exercising. I'm running into the shower. May I call you back?
Mother? Mom. Who? Mom.
Mama.
Mom.
Mother. Mom. Mama. Mom.
Mom? Stay, Mom.
Mama? Mama? Mom!
Nana. Mother.
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 Mom! Mommy!
Mommy.
Mom! Hey, Mom!
Not so easy, is it?
Well, say.
Might even be the toughest job in the entire world.
So obviously, being a mom, being a parent is pretty tough. But like I said, for you, there's a lot of things that, you're throwing on top of this year as well. You're having to bring in a community, you're having to juggle, work and just everything in general. So I'd like to kind of go back to day one, when you guys first started this channel, and what was the thought process, for you? Obviously when we look at this, we're like, okay, let's create a YouTube channel. Did you ever think that it would continue in this direction, as you're reflecting back?
Honestly, no. I was looking for something to occupy a little bit of free time, and I kept telling him, "Oh, we should do YouTube." He already did YouTube with his gaming, and he's like, "Yeah." And I kept telling him I was going to do YouTube, but I kept trying to figure out what I wanted to do on YouTube, and then I was thinking, I really started liking watching people with the Funko Pops and etc. So I decided, okay, this is what I'll do: mystery boxes, Funko Pops. But I didn't want to sit alone and talk to the camera. I honestly was not comfortable with that. That's how he ended up in the videos, because I'm like, just come sit next to me. It won't be forever. Here we are a little over a year later, and he still has to sit next to me.
Now, I mean, do you feel still a little bit more comfortable now?
Oh yeah, you know what? If he said I don't want to be in the videos anymore, I mean I would be able to continue. I'm comfortable now. But now, he's part of that. Everybody, looks and they know, oh, it's Mama J and Spectre,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't put Spectre and Mama J, they have to go together. I mean, it's just the way that we consider it in the community. And, obviously, when, Spectre being with your mom, there's a lot of different things that come from that. I know living with my mom lived with me for 10 years. I know that there's got to be some trials and tribulations, because usually you want to kind of, when you're younger, you fly the coop a little bit, but you're here and you're hanging out. So how has this been for you this year as a journey with your mom?
Well, at first I was kind of like, I don't want to sit here with her and do videos. That's so embarrassing to do it with your mother. But, over time, it just kind of was like, I enjoy spending some time with my mom. I love my mom. She gets on my nerves all the time, but, what can you do? She's your mom. California's just too expensive to live on your own. So
yeah, it would make no sense in California for him to move out and live on his own and us both to pay rent somewhere. It would just be crazy.
Yeah, I remember being in San Jose, and it was like $1,300 for like a 2-bedroom apartment at the time, and this was
And that's cheap.
that's what I'm saying. It was like that was back then, and how much it's gone up, in regards. So I know that just kind of wanted to look through this here a little bit. Some may say, Mama J, that you have nurtured Spectre's uniqueness, maybe providing him with a canvas to express his creativity. Would you say raising him has helped with your success as a mother and as a person overall? And how do you feel, about that? Like, how do you feel, seeing Spectre, over the years and things that you kind of pull from him?
All in all, my doing or not my doing, he's a very well-mannered young man. He's very polite. He's very helpful. He's sometimes too smart for his own good, but all in all, I don't think I did too bad.
Yeah, it definitely, part of Mama's family. I mean, you guys got it rocking. Definitely exciting to see that. What do you remember about the day Spectre coming in the world? Like, what are some values that basically, before I get to that question? So when Spectre's coming, take us back, what does that mean? Because it goes so fast. And I know with my kids being, 13 and 10, I mean, I can remember holding Logan. What was that like? Take us back to, Spectre's coming in the world.
Pain in my butt. I literally, I'll be honest, I had a problem pregnancy. I was pulled off work really early. When during the pregnancy at the very end, they brought me in to induce my labor, realized the cord was wrapped around his neck, and if they would have induced my labor, they would have killed him. So obviously, we went other routes to bring him into the world, but I've pretty much raised him on my own since he was 2. So
okay, so that's a pretty comparison. I mean, my mom kind of raised me when she was 3. When I was 3.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, she's super mom. And once again, and I know you and my mom hold the same birthday, July 13th. So that's pretty good. I can obviously see the qualities from that in regards. What are some values that you hold that you were strong about when it came to raising Spectre?
Respect, honesty. We don't. He didn't like it, but I had a thing about, you're not going to sit and just waste time. You're not going to just waste all this time you have. So during summer, needed or not needed, and usually not needed, he was required to go to summer school, because kids nowadays, and through his generation too, all they do is sit and play video games. We already know that. I mean, he still plays video games, but I wasn't going to allow him all summer just to sit all summer and waste away. He had to go to summer school. He hated it, but he went every year. But when he entered the 12th grade, he went in only needing 1 class. So all in all, I mean, he got to take half of his 12th grade year off. So.
Okay. Right now, I just want to, while we do have some people in the chat and coming through and stuff, I would like to take this opportunity, you guys in the chat, Mama J, it's been a great year. Like I said, in this community, I know me coming in February, having the opportunity to have the support, the friendship, everybody that we've been able to come across. And, we're ending this year and obviously getting into 2021, a lot on the plate, a lot of things to build off of. And hopefully, we can get into some normalcy, but still have some fun. But I would like everybody in the chat, at this point in time, I mean, I would normally have everybody stand up and clap and salute you, because, like I said, I do believe that you. So in the chat, I would love for you guys to just, give a word of thanks, to Mama J and Spectre, in unison, if you guys don't mind. How you guys feel, how this year went, just anything in general. We would just like to kind of tip our hats to Mama J and Spectre at this point in time. And I know there's a little bit of delay, but yeah, I really, just appreciate what you guys have done. And just also to also get back into, since we do have a delay, what have you learned about Spectre as you watched him grow up?
That he marches to his own drummer.
He
I'm
marches
not
to his
lying.
drummer?
He's not a follower. He's not someone that's doing it just because everyone else is doing it. Whether he sets his mind to doing something or not doing something, it doesn't change. He's very firm on what he feels and how he wants to do things. So.
Okay. Well, so we'll get in here. Like I said, we just pull some of this up. So, like I said, thank you for the support, the friendship. Much love to you all. Letting this come through, and I know, obviously this is, your Christmas weekend. A lot's going on in regards, but this community has found ways to rally in so many ways. And Spectre, I would like for you to kind of take us back a little bit. This was a year you did a benefit for Extra Life. Can you walk us through that a little bit and just kind of tell us, what that was like and your reason for doing it and what the end results were?
Yeah, actually, it was my second year doing it this year. I did it the year prior. But the reasons I did it is years ago, I discovered a YouTube channel called Rooster Teeth, and they branched over to a subcategory called Achievement Hunter. I've been watching them since they ever started, like almost 10 plus years ago. I can't remember. And they do Extra Life. And they're the reasons why I got into gaming and streaming and posting videos on YouTube. So I figured if they can do it, I can do it too. I'm not going to get as much as they do because they raise over $1 million every year. But I'm like, you know what? If I raise $5 a year, that's $5 extra that go to charity, and that's more than enough for me. So just being able to do it is a lot of fun. The fact that I have such great friends who come in and stream with me, people who stay and watch almost the entire time. They know who they are. It's fun, and I would do it every year.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a lot of fun. I know, I was able to put some donation towards that, and it's always nice to have, knowing that some of that money that could go to something else is given an opportunity for people that really do need that. And in that case, with the children. So definitely appreciate that. So what I'd also like to do is, there's a little bit that I want to show here, and I want to ask you guys about this. You can kind of give us a story. I think it kind of falls in Spectre's area to start it off, but let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. And let's see.
Like a bird on a tree. I'm just.
That's an old one.
It's an old one, but I want to.
It's so beautiful.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell.
So with that one right there, obviously, that's been in a lot of your videos. It's kind of like an iconic part of your videos to look forward to. So, Spectre, obviously that wasn't scripted. Your mom was doing the bell, and you decided to just knock it out of her hands. What was going on there? Like, what'd you think about?
Robert.
She said, hit the bell.
I did. I told him hit the bell, and he smacked that bell right out of my hand.
So, I mean, obviously, that's a lot of fun with that. Just kind of seeing that. I mean, to me, I think it's a staple. But there's another thing. Spectre, that you also did this year, reflecting back on Satan's Toe. And we did that, and I know it was a little bit of challenging for you. I had you voted. I was pulling for you. Walk us through that. I mean, like, for those that aren't, experiencing that, Satan's Toe, what's that all about?
So
We're not, LJ. We're not. I'm sorry, I had to respond. Go ahead.
The thing with the Satan's Toe is it wasn't really that hot. The issue is after it was in my mouth for so long, my sinuses had clogged up, so I couldn't breathe through my nose, and I was struggling to breathe through my mouth. So it wasn't so much that it was hot; it's just I literally couldn't breathe anymore.
He's had sinus issues since he was a kid. He's actually even had surgery. But we did not think him doing the Satan's Toe would clog him up like that. And unfortunately it did. So once it clogged him all up, he wasn't going to stop. I mean, literally, I was over here telling him he had to stop. So.
Yeah. And just so everybody understands too, like that was just one of the older videos. I just at the time was going through it, and wasn't in the quite thought process. I was just looking for the end result, just so you understand that, because obviously that's not what we're here to do. But so, Mama J, I want to ask you. What are the 3 best decisions that you've ever made in life?
Oh, good Lord. 3 best decisions. The 3 best decisions I ever made in life, huh?
I know one if she doesn't pick it.
You know one of my best decisions? What is that?
Go with your 3 and I'll tell you if you got it or not.
Obviously, Spectre was one. I'll be honest. Choosing to be a single mother was another one. And I always try to make the right decisions and try to do the right thing. I don't know, best decisions in life. We all make a lot of bad decisions in life. So I don't know. What were you going to say?
You quit smoking.
I did. I quit smoking. I guess that's a really good decision.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
But for me, that was a health reason. Like, I had to quit smoking. And I'm not the only person in the world who's ever quit smoking. Me and actually LJ have spoke about this many times. I mean, I had to quit smoking. For those that are unaware, a couple years ago, I had a widowmaker heart attack, which means I should be dead. So I should not have lived through that heart attack, and I did. But one of the choices I had to make coming through all of that was I had to change a few things. And so one of them was, I drank Mountain Dew, first of all, like it was going out of style, and I'm not lying, a 6-pack a day, and that was a 6-pack of Mountain Dew at least. And I smoked. So after having the massive heart attack, the choices that I had to make, one of them was to quit smoking. So yeah, that would probably be a very good decision. I just think of it as a necessity more than a choice. So
it was a necessity more than choice, but there was also tons of people who don't do that choice.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And some people don't listen and pay attention, and you obviously did. And when you look at something like that, to go through that type of a life, at that, like I myself experienced something not too long ago, and like we had talked about, you said to follow up on it and make sure that you're looking into your health and taking care of things. So how did that change your perspective moving forward? I mean, you were like, okay, like at this point, just kind of doing what you wanted to do, and then all of a sudden there was an opportunity for life to be taken away from you, but you're here, and that's and that's something where a lot of people don't survive things like that, and you did. And so now, what was the result moving forward that you looked at? Like, how did that shape Mama J moving forward?
Well, I'll be honest, I have not drank a Mountain Dew since I had a heart attack. And it did take me a little bit of time to quit smoking afterwards, because I'm not going to lie, everyone knows smoking is the hardest thing to quit doing. I got a little help and I was able to quit smoking. But other than that, the main things we changed was I changed was smoking and not drinking as many sodas. I mean, I still drink sodas, but nothing like I used to. And I mean, eating habits. We're not little people, but I think that's just in general. Most of my family is big boned. Um, but health wise, other than that, we didn't change. I didn't change much else because everything else through talking through the doctors and other people was right where it needed to be. It was more so the smoking and I'm very high stressed. I stress out about a lot of things, and that was the other thing.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what got to me towards the end of the year as well, is trying to figure out how to manage that stress levels, you know. So we do have a question from Umpty Scratch. Where did the names Mama J and Spectre come from?
Go ahead, do yours first.
So mine actually has a very old origin from a YouTube channel I started just right after high school with some friends. It was basically like a comedy show where we talked about zombie survival tips, but it had like a story that followed. And we just needed a name, so I chose Spectre because I liked the name at the time, which also translated into my airsoft call sign, Spectre. When I played airsoft, I played it for about 15 years. And then when I had to change my Xbox gamer tag to bring the whole Spectre into it, such a common name that was already taken. And we had friends like Sergeant Waffle and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, Commander works for me. And it was too long for Xbox, so I had to drop the E. So that's why there's no E at the end.
Before we continue, can I just say, way to go, Shortbox. Keep it up. Because she just says she hasn't smoked in 3 months.
Let's see. Trying to do awesome. Yeah, and it's, you know, it's one of those things, you know, it does become a battle, you know. I've never had to, when I was younger, I drank a little bit, and I was probably like in my 20s, and I ended up like falling back and like landing on a table and broke the table. And I mean, from there, you know, and I've seen bouts with, you know, my family members with having alcohol and stuff. So I've kind of stayed away from that. And I feel good about that, you know, making that choice of not having to have that. And it is, whether you're cigarettes or alcohol or other things, you know, there are those battles. And, you know, if you can, you know, look at other things and conquer that, I mean, that's a big step moving forward. So, you know, much props to that.
And as for the name Mama J, we kept going back and forth, and I couldn't come up with something, and it just was one of the names that I was writing down, and I was shooting off of him. And because honestly, my first name and my last name both start with a J, it kind of went from there. So.
Okay. Well, and that's, you know, obviously Mama J just has, you know, a great ring to it. It's awesome. You know, and I know that Spectre, you know, with his anime, I know that he's had some shows that he's been in. I can see one that I pulled up. You know, I can't remember the name of the show exactly, but I know, you know, Spectre being the anime guy. But what I'd like to do is take the moment right now and play a little game. And it's going to be called Mama Knows Best. And what I need to do is I need to separate you guys for a moment. So, so I would like to ask Spectre first a couple of questions. So if that's possible, let me go ahead and give you guys an insight to the beginning of this game here. Let me pull this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Spectre a series of questions, and then I'm going to then ask those questions to you, and I want to see if they match up and just kind of play a game of Mama, you know, Mama Knows Best.
Okay.
And just kind of see, you know, how we are, and I think we'll pretty much know the end results will come through, but I just want to put it to the test a little bit. So I wanted to ask Spectre first. So is it possible, Mama J, to remove from the room for a second?
Sure, I can remove from the room.
Okay.
Just give us 1 second.
Just let me. Oh,
They can hear you.
okay. Just let me know when to come back.
Okay.
Okay. So now, Spectre, your mom, can I hear you, right?
No.
Okay. So what is your favorite anime character?
Zorro.
Okay. And when you were growing up, what did you want to be?
A video game developer.
Okay. And when you were a kid, what do you remember getting most in trouble for? Like, what was one moment that you're like, oh man, like something you did that you're like, you got in trouble. Mom was like, do you remember a time?
I didn't want to rake the leaves, and I stood outside all day, from sunrise to sundown.
Okay, so rake the leaves. Okay. So did not want. Okay. All right. So let's see if we got that. So if you could pick a meal, okay, that your mom can make, like maybe she hasn't made in a while, but you loved it when you were little, or whatever the case, and you want that for dinner, what would that favorite meal be?
Mac and cheese.
Okay. And what is something that you lied about back in the day, but your mom still to this day kind of maybe might remind you, say, hey, remember when you lied about this? Or, she didn't, because mothers, they forgive, but they don't forget. So remember like something you might have told a fib and your mom still kind of gives you a little hard time about it, saying, oh yeah, I remember that time you lied.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. No worries. We'll see if mom might know that one anyways. So what would you say that mom is most proud of for you?
I'm not in jail.
Not in jail. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get mom to come back, and then you can stay here because it's not a you don't need to leave. So we just need to get mom back.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Let's put this to the test here, guys. We'll just double check and see. Like I said, this is
All
right, mom. So like I said, this is mom knows best, and obviously a mother always knows her children, and we just want to see if we can match that up today. So the question I asked was, who's Spectre's favorite anime character?
Right now, Zorro probably.
Okay. When Spectre was growing up, what did he want to become?
A video game designer.
Okay. Let's see, what is the most trouble that Spectre got into as a kid? Like something that he did and it kind of stood out.
He never got in a lot of real trouble as a kid.
But was there one moment where maybe he didn't want to do something and as a kid, or he just, he got in trouble for it, or there was a lesson to be learned? Maybe in the fall, the weather changes a little bit, and sometimes the leaves, they kind of fall off the trees a
Okay,
little
well,
bit.
if you're talking about him having to stand outside all day because he didn't rake the leaves, that wasn't with me. That was with his grandmother. And what had happened was his chore was to rake the leaves. He said, I'm not going to do it. So she said, well, you can't come in the house till you do it. I got home from work that evening about 5 o'clock, and he was still standing outside with the rake. And he had been there all day because he refused to do his chore.
Oh wow.
Again, very hard-headed. When he makes up his mind, that's what he sticks to.
That's what I was gonna say. So is he pretty stubborn? So if Spectre could pick one meal for you to make, like something that he really, really loved as a kid, and maybe you haven't made it in a while, and he says, "Mom, can I have make this for me?" What would it be?
He always asked me to make homemade macaroni and cheese.
Awesome. Okay. And now this one he kind of struggled with a little bit, so I wanted to see if you can kind of help us. What's something Spectre lied about, maybe when he was younger, and maybe to this day you kind of maybe still give him a hard time, like, oh yeah, I remember when you were like 10 and you lied about this, or was there any of those times at all that you caught him in a lie?
He didn't lie very often, and I'm not saying he was a perfect kid because he wasn't. I mean, he did have issues here and there with things, but he never lied about really anything of like, importance to get in trouble that, he was ever busted with.
Okay. Then the last one is, what are you most proud of, Spectre?
How responsible he is, and how that when he puts his mind to things, he gets them done. So
Okay.
the fact that he's very, together.
He also said that you'd probably be proud that he's not in jail.
Yeah, I'm happy he's not in jail, so that's a plus.
Uh, but definitely, so as you guys know, mother does know best. Mother does know her children. So we're gonna kind of kick into another segment here. So we're gonna take a little break here, guys. Let me go ahead and pull up a commercial. That's not the one I wanted, unfortunately. Where is it? I have so many of these things on here, but let's see. And that's the problem when you put like so many of them up here. It's like, okay. All right. Well, so yesterday was Christmas, and there was a certain movie that came out, and you're big known to be a Wonder Woman fan. And so I'd imagine you were one of the first ones.
9 a.m. when it was released on my time.
So
and I did not own HBO Max till the night before.
I actually I purchased it too. I haven't had a chance to watch it fully. But obviously,
Credits is all I can say.
what's that? And,
Watch through the credits is all I can say.
and I think we've kind of learned a little bit about that with some
That's
of these
part
movies.
of the movie.
So take us back. I mean, why Wonder Woman? What is it about Wonder Woman that has?
You know what? I don't know why Wonder Woman, I'll be honest, but as a kid, I watched Wonder Woman nonstop. Obviously, in my book, no matter how great these movies are, that right there, Linda Carter is the best Wonder Woman. It just hands down, and just the power and a woman in charge, and she does her thing her way, and it's all behind the whole woman power thing, And come on, who's better than Wonder Woman? So
I like how they have Marvel characters at the end of that.
I know. I was like, oh. Definitely. I mean, because like I said, when you look at Wonder Woman, I mean, she's iconic. Obviously you got the red, white, and blue. She's strong. She's one of the top three with Superman and Batman. Definitely, and you've been labeled, our Wonder Woman in this community. I mean, a lot of us feel that way. And totally, like I said, being Wonder Woman, I mean, it has its moments. Obviously the movies are amazing, the comic books, just everything in general. But like I said, we do have that comparison with you, as Wonder Woman. And I think we even have, if I correct me or not, I'm trying to look, I made something for you. And I'm scrolling up. See, when I go and do all these things, I put all these things on here. And it's like, I think what happens is you can only have like so many of them. And that's what irritates me. But let me see right here if I pull this up. Because I made this and I want you to see it. There we go. Yeah, I just didn't add it in, so I'm going to add it in now. So we have our Mama J is our Wonder Woman. Like I said, I just, from the community, from myself, we appreciate all that you do, and you're going to hear it a lot. So how do you feel about that in the community, as far as, like, do you feel extra pressure having that sense of being the glue, like, because there is a lot of times where things pop up and you seem to be that voice of reason, whether, whatever the case may be that's going on, you have a sense of focus with it. And, being the fact that you do have some life experience. And so it's easy for you to say, hey, look, just go this way. Don't worry about this, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel that extra role that has kind of happened with you?
You know what? It doesn't really bother me. The thing is that, like, when people come to me for advice or questions or issues with different things, it's reality. Again, like I tell people all the time, we don't have to like each other, but we need to respect each other. And the other thing is, when the people come to me for, I just tell them how I would handle the issue. That's all there is to it. Whether it's issues with one YouTuber to another, or issues with how somebody's making you feel, I give them the advice I would live by, and you can either choose to go with that advice or not. But as for any additional pressure, not really. Not really.
Okay. Well, like I said, we all just keep calm and love Mama J. That's what we do. So Spectre, I wanted to kind of shift a little bit on you a little bit, because we have a division in this community when it comes to anime. It's either one side or the other. There's a lot of people in regards with anime. And so I kind of wanted to give an opportunity for you to touch on that and just kind of like tell us, what is anime? Like, what is that to you? I'm going to make you the anime spokesperson. Okay. So can you tell us why anime is amazing, or what makes it as good as people in the community swear by?
For me personally, I love animation. I think it's really cool. I grew up watching cartoons like every other kid, but it's just something that's stuck with me. And anime itself is an extension of Japanese cartoons. And I feel you can tell a story way better through animation than you can with an actual person. There's many parts where facial features can do stuff that the normal human face can't do, and those features can portray a whole new emotion that you wouldn't get from a person. So that's kind of like why I love anime. It's just there's so much you can do that a person can't do, and it's fake rather than it looking fake. Take the M. Night Shyamalan Avatar movie, the live action one. It looks fake, it looks horrible, but the cartoon is great because it's fake, but it's so good because of that.
Yeah.
So I think that's my eyes don't go to heart shapes. So it's just something that's there that
I think most people that are into anime, at least in my opinion, a lot of them got into it when they were younger, or they really just, I don't know what it is about anime, is that you just find one series that you fall in love with, and then you become so obsessed with that series. I've watched that with tons of different guys on here, okay? And even girls who love the anime. And they start out at one thing and then they move on to another one. Like, obviously, he started with Dragon Ball because I worked for Blockbuster. I ran 11 Blockbuster stores. I had a young man working for me, came to work and said, hey, I have these extra VHS tapes. Would you like to take them home to your son? So I brought him home, and that was it. Anime forever.
So how do you feel about anime, Mama J? Is it something that you've been able to, like, can you get into it? Is it something that you're just like, I'm just going to leave it to him?
I don't really follow anime that much, I'll be honest. Dragon Ball, I've probably seen 75%, maybe.
Of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, of Dragon Ball. Of when it comes to that part, My Hero, One Piece. I just never really got into them. And Pokemon, I know they go back and forth on whether that's an anime or not, but I don't watch Pokemon at all.
Okay. So Spectre, let me ask you, what anime line has the best looking, like, detailed Funko Pops in your opinion?
One Piece.
One
That's
Piece
my
has
opinion.
some real good ones. I think detail wise, I would have to probably say the Naruto Pops.
Now, is it true that Dragon Ball Z kind of gave a little bit of inspiration to Naruto and One Piece?
Actually, One Piece started a little bit before Dragon Ball originally, like manga wise. But they're all under the branch of what's called shonen anime. So shonen anime is particularly a male protagonist, and it's very actiony, very fighty and stuff like that. Even My Hero is listed in the shonen branch, but they all kind of work off each other per se. Like there's some specials with Naruto meeting Dragon Ball characters, Dragon Ball going to the One Piece world. So it's really kind of cool to see that type of stuff. Get our crossovers.
Well, let me ask you. So, is anime seen as, in your opinion, childish? I mean, masses in general seem to treat it this way, and as a result, has it made the market smaller?
Yeah, people look at it like it's a cartoon, and they portray cartoons to what we have as cartoons here, like Kim Possible, Lilo and Stitch. But in anime, where people are getting their heads cut off and blood's gushing everywhere, and there's a lot of nudity in some animes and violence and curse words, drinking. It's not for kids at all. There are some for kids, Avatar, Pokemon, stuff like that. But like One Piece, Fairy Tail, Naruto, I would never recommend to a kid 13 and up at some of them.
So it doesn't seem to come into the regular type TV type stations. So what do you think is preventing, this from, is it because of things like maybe with the nudity, or is it the way it's the setup, or too adult like, or, I mean, why do you think it's not coming in? I mean, we do have adult cartoons at night,
Well, years ago, there used to be a thing on Cartoon Network called Toonami, and they would show anime all night long. That's how most of us would watch our anime. I'm asleep, Mom. I'm asleep, and then anime time. But that's kind of like how we did it back in the day. But nowadays it's just the difference in regulations. Like in Japan, they're very like open. There's not a lot of regulations. They do allow nudity on regular TV and commercial use, as opposed to here in the States, nudity is rated R. So you don't get that like same regulations. Smoking can't be shown in the States for anime characters for kids. Drinking, stuff like that. So there have been some instances like 4Kids did One Piece, and they just butchered One Piece horribly. They replaced Sanji's cigarette with a lollipop, and it was really dumb. So you watch the washed out version, it's really bad. So that's why you have to watch it elsewhere.
So, when you look at anime, and let me go ahead and show this. So what is with the music, the base of the Japanese, like, because some of it sounds really cool. I like how some of these shows do have some good like soundtrack or good, vibe to it with the music. How do you feel, with that?
The soundtracks are always amazing in anime. If you want to, I would recommend Naruto as the best soundtrack. Everybody knows Bluebird. Everybody knows Sadness and Sorrow. And they've used those tracks throughout, 600 episodes at times where it's really needed. And it really brings more emotion into the scene that you're watching.
Okay. What would you say? What anime character is most similar to you in personality?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't like a jacked up 16-year-old who could shoot fireballs out of their hands. So
But there's, I mean, there's a lot of, animes that have some stories and that you can kind of, I mean, you relate to things. You see things on screen. I remember, I mean, just you feel. I remember coming out of movie theaters with Rocky, and wanting in the parking lot, and just like punching and feeling like, I wanted to be Rocky on the screen. So do you see that with some of the anime characters? Maybe not so much now, but maybe when you were, when you first started watching anime. What's your favorite thing about anime that draws you there?
like I said, mainly just the stories, the connection you get with these characters. And like if you ever go watch a movie and you come out of the movie, you're like, man, I feel like that character. It's like that, but you get to watch it every day, and there's something new when you're watching a new anime. But I was thinking about it. Probably the most closest anime character I probably have a connection with would probably be Brook from One Piece, because he's just a big goofball and has fun, but then is super serious when he needs to be.
So, Mom, would you say that kind of fits in a
Yeah.
little? Okay.
100%. Yep.
So I've heard the term otaku, and I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, but it's generally someone is deep into anime culture. What does that mean to you? I mean, do you fall in the lines of that, or is anime something different for you?
No, I get it. It's kind of like that. I've never really used the word otaku very much, but I do know it means like people who follow anime very well. I've been watching anime ever since she brought home a VHS of Dragon Ball, like she said. So it's not gonna leave my life anytime soon. I'm gonna watch anime until the day I probably drop dead. I'll be watching One Piece, waiting for Luffy to get to the treasure when I die. But it's just what I watch and what I enjoy.
Is there an anime that has been a letdown for you that you're kind of like, oh man, like this, you were kind of having some hopes for it and it just kind of brought you crashing down?
Oh yeah, there's lots of anime like that. There's a lot of letdowns in the first season of an anime. You got like 12 episodes, is amazing, and then you realize they're never making any more, and you're just kind of like, oh man, that sucks.
No.
But then there's ones like Attack on Titan. First season, amazing. Second and third season, horrible. I didn't even watch the third season. It was so bad.
Okay. So is piracy helping or killing the anime industry? What do you think about, things that are going on with that? I know a lot of people, are trying to, use anime in a lot of piracy type forums. And I know that's something, some people feel that, it's killing that industry a little bit.
To a point, like as far as like state-wise goes, we only have a few options really to watch anime legitly. Crunchyroll, Funimation, I can't even think of any more after that. So using pirated websites where you can watch anime is very common. I am guilty of having done that before. Just because it's expensive sometimes to pay month to month, and then sometimes you just don't want to watch as much. You want to watch other things, so it's a little harder than like Netflix. I know Hulu has some good anime on there, but it's like all old stuff, so you can't watch any of the new stuff. As far as like everywhere else in the world, it's very prominent and out there.
Okay. So it does create, I mean, maybe if it was more accessible too, maybe people could open up a little bit more to it. Who do you think is the strongest anime character of all time?
It would probably have to be Goku, just for the sake of the way he's written and played as. He's always, no matter what, will rise to whatever occasion there is and overcome it. So he's very Superman written, where Superman just wins no matter what. Goku will win no matter what.
Okay. What about what's your best anime pet?
Anime pet?
Yeah.
Happy from One Piece.
Happy from One Piece? Okay. That sounds like a good name.
Fairy
What?
Tail. I don't know why I said One Piece.
It's
One
from
Piece?
Fairy Tail, not One Piece.
Yeah.
Because One Piece is what you're watching right
Yeah.
now.
What's your best animation style in your opinion?
Would probably be the shonen anime style.
Okay.
The Shonen Jump style.
Now, I've heard the term, and if you, like I said, I wanted to kind of give a little bit of insight to, anime a little bit, but I've heard the term manga. Can you tell us a little bit about manga and what's the best manga you've ever read?
So those are just basically like Japanese comics. Like that's their form of comic books in Japan. They're read in reverse, so you read from the back of the book forward, and stuff like that. I haven't read a whole lot of manga, because I do prefer the animation, and I have a friend who reads a lot of manga, and he gets irritated because he's like, "Oh, all this stuff's happening, but you're never gonna know for like a year."
Okay.
Because he dies and keeps coming back to life.
Yeah, how's
He
Goku?
keeps coming back to life, but then he wins.
So it'd be kind of like a Deadpool where, he gets hurt, but he can still kind of regenerate a little bit back. What's the best weapon you've seen in an anime series?
That's another hard one. I honestly love Zabuza's sword from Naruto. That's always really cool. It's a giant like executioner's blade, and it has a hole in the middle, and you put someone's head in it, and then you just twist the sword and cut their head off. But I think the way Zoro uses his three swords, holds one in his mouth and one in each hand, is really cool.
Okay. I mean, like I said, when it comes to anime, I just haven't gotten into it. I do like the pops. I think a lot of the pops are really detailed. I think there's, like somebody told me, there's some horror anime out there that I would pretty much enjoy. What anime would you like to see as a live action film?
Oh. That's hard because there has been a Dragon Ball live action film and it was awful. The Avatar Last Airbender movie, awful. The Fullmetal Alchemist Netflix one was not bad. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. I think if they were to make another live action, I think the easiest one would probably be One Piece, just because it's pirates and there's nothing too extravagant except for maybe Luffy.
I think the problem with anime going to movies is anime is so out there with some of the things that they do that there's just no way to portray that in a movie. So, it loses a lot when you switch it over. Just like if you read a book and then you watch the movie of certain movies, you're like, oh man, the movie left all this out, this and that.
Mhm.
And, the book, because the book can give you much more detail. Like an anime can give you much more detail than an actual movie could.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Tats is right. No to live action, but if they had to make one, I think One Piece would probably be the easiest.
Well, if you look back, okay, like Mortal Kombat. So, I mean, in anime, there's a lot of fighting tournaments and stuff like that, right? So, if you took an anime and kind of designed it in a Mortal Kombat type style of film, could something like that work? And I'm not saying Mortal Kombat was a huge success, but in this day and age, there's ways of making films better with CGI and everything like that. But, I mean, I'm just looking at it from an anime standpoint. Could there be one that might generate on the big screen?
there is ways for them to do it. I mean, we all know that. The problem is that when you're watching things happen in an anime and you watch them happen, you don't question it because it's an anime. But if you're watching real people do the certain things, you're like, come on, they can't do that. That's not even, so it becomes the ridiculous mode,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, Spectre, if you could build your own anime show, okay, you're in charge, you get an opportunity. What characters would you use as a starting point for the show? Like, I mean, for example, say like All Might and Beerus. What would be like that synopsis? What would the story look like?
There would definitely be a character like Zoro, Book, Natsu from Fairy Tail, Gohan from Dragon Ball, Kakashi from Naruto. Beerus is a good one. Blackbeard's a good one from One Piece. And basically characters like that. Tokoyami from My Hero.
Okay. And like I said, and that's what I always like look at is like comic books, how you would like, so Mama J, if you had an opportunity to build your own story from a comic book, and you could put characters in there, like a Wonder Woman and Wolverine type thing, what type of characters would you like to see or be a creator of, and create a story out of a comic book, maybe a short 6 mini series or something like that?
Well, obviously it would include Wonder Woman, and I would probably go with maybe like Superman. I'm sorry, and y'all can hate me. I am not a Batman fan. It's not that I hate Batman in any way, shape, or form. I just don't follow Batman. So I would pick like Superman, or even villain wise, I would go with the Joker and Harley. It's funny because I like all the ones that surround Batman. I'm just, it's just not there. So, but definitely probably like a Wonder Woman, Superman, if they could have like Joker and Harley as their villains, I'd be good with that.
It's funny. A lot of people have talked about with the topic came up with Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not, because it has Christmas in it. If you look back at Batman Returns with Michael Keaton, it is in a Christmas setting. So does that become a Christmas movie in regards? Okay, so I want to get into another segment with you guys. I appreciate that. Is there anything you would like to give us, heading out about anime, Spectre, like anything? And like I said, what have you pulled from anime? I mean, the more that you watch it, what has kind of shaped your thought process on anime more? Like, because you said, you're in it for life. So obviously, you really enjoy that. What do you feel contributes to that?
I think just the way it's done. Like, I go back to, the way the story is written. I love how the story's written in almost every anime. The animation style is just really cool, and it's something that just draws me back every time.
Okay.
And I do think anime is a life for people, because through YouTube, I've learned, watching different people, they're either extremely passionate about their anime, or that anime pop goes flying over their shoulder, one or the other, So I think it just depends there. And then the other thing I've noticed is everybody's passionate in a different way. Like everyone has certain characters they grab onto, but not to say that is somebody else's favorite character from that anime. So it's like almost everybody has their own view, their own opinion on anime from those that like the anime, and then there's, like I said, the people out there that get an anime pop and they can't stand it, and I don't.
I think, like I said, there's some really good detailed anime pops, but there was a time when I pulled one out and I scanned it and it was like $5. And I was like, wow, this thing is so detailed and really cool looking. I thought it would be a higher value, and it only came in at $5.
Kid's funny because he says the food in anime he wants to eat.
Yeah, the food in anime looks so good.
But it's true. Anime pops have some amazing details. Some of them do. But so does what are the pops that I keep finding? And I go, "Ooh, this is a cool pop," and you're like, "You don't want that, isn't it?" It's
Oh, it's Persona.
Persona. I don't even know what that is.
It's a game.
But every time I see the pops, I'm like, "Wow, that's really a cool pop." And then I'm like, "Well, what is this? I don't even know what this is."
So it's funny how we can get pops like that from Persona, but we can't get other pops that we want and have been asking for, and how they decide to make, certain pops. All right, so we're going to take a little break here real quick. Let me do a commercial break. And I keep pulling that one up because it's the same one. It's like,
oh, that's a really quick break.
It's a. All right, so Mama J, what I'd like to kind of get into with you a little bit that you're really known for as far as having a good insight to is your rock and roll. Obviously, Mama J, knows her rock and roll. I mean, she definitely gets into it. Can you kind of take us back? Like, how did music, and I know music means a lot to a lot of people, but what does it mean to you? Like, how did it start? Like, I mean, were you that I know, like my mom and my aunt, they would always go to like concerts and they love the Rolling Stones, so they're kind of like those big groupies. Any opportunity that comes out for a concert, whatever, they're buying the tickets. They're trying. They went to London one time. I mean, it's like, they just identify with that group. How are you when you got into rock and roll? Like, what did that mean to you? Was there something?
I went to my first concert when I was 7 years old. My parents are very, very much into music. So, like I said, I went to my first concert when I was 7. Me and my best friend, who we've been best friends since we were 4 and 5, we both, I mean, it was, most kids would run outside and want to play or whatever. We were in the house. We had record albums. We would play them. We'd steal them from our parents. So that's how we found a lot of different types of music. But, like I said, I went to my first concert at 7. I have been to, and I lost count at some point, but over 200 concerts. It's a big thing in our family, even up till this virus. We'd go to concerts all the time. I had tickets to a concert that I had to trade in because obviously it was canceled due to the virus. But and he's been to his first concert. He was like 7 also. So it's very big with us to go to concerts. My parents, like I said, were big. My mother was obsessed with going to concerts, and we sat in the first couple rows all the time. So, it just was something I grew up with. So that's, I mean, I love all types of music. So.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Now, I know I've pulled from influences from, my aunt, my uncle, my mom, whatever in the case. Spectre, some of the music that your mom grew up with and she listens to, have you taken to that? Have you been like, I like, I can dig it. I mean, I enjoy it. Or is it kind of like, mom can have it, Is there?
No. Whatever she listened to, I listened to. I enjoyed, the rock and roll, because if I didn't, I mean, I wouldn't have any music to listen to at all, except for maybe polka music, if even that.
The thing is that we listen to a lot of music. So he grew up listening to a lot of like 80s metal and stuff. When he was younger, his favorite band that he wanted to go see, hands down, was Quiet Riot. And we were going to take him to see Quiet Riot. Unfortunately, the lead singer had passed away. But like his favorite band now is AC/DC. So,
yeah.
It all falls into the same, group of music.
Oh,
but
yeah.
his concert, like I said, he was 7 too. So maybe like a dozen concerts now. Not as many as I did, but the cost and the way things are done is much different than it used to be.
It used to be $3. Now it's $300.
And that man there, I've seen probably at least 5 times. And him, probably about 20 times.
I've seen him twice.
Well, like I said, Mama J, that's how we feel, with you guys in the community. You guys are amazing. And there's times where we can say, hey, we're not worthy.
I've
But
actually met him too a few times. And
what was
I
that
have
like?
his autograph on everything but a Funko Pop.
So did you have a lot of expectations going into meeting him? Did it meet up to that? Like what take us through that?
Well, I've met Alice Cooper multiple times. I've met a lot of people. I live in California. I live 20 minutes from Hollywood. In the 80s, the biggest heavy metal radio station was 15 minutes from me. So, with the opportunity, and here I am right smack dab in the middle of all of it. I did meet Alice when he got his star in Hollywood. I'm one of those people that don't call out sick to work. And I called out sick that day and went to Hollywood and met Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, and Cassandra Peterson, which is Elvira, if anybody didn't know. They were all there, got to meet them. Um, I also met Alice. He did a record signing at Tower Records, which doesn't
Oh,
exist
yeah.
anymore in
Yeah, I
Hollywood.
remember the Tower Records.
Yeah, he released a box set. And I'm going to tell you, like I said, I've met a lot of people, a lot of different rock stars, celebrities. But I would say the most amazing one was meeting Alice Cooper because I've been an Alice Cooper fan for so long.
Well, we have proof. I was able to dig some proof that you actually were uh, in a band or did some singing for some albums. We have a ticket here. Basically, we got seat 713. It was $19.70. But what I found was, let me pull this up and go through this here. This is one of your albums that you had here, Mama J Putting the Rock Down. I really love the artwork on there. And this one right here, we have Rock Gypsies, Spectre Records. Really, really cool. This, that isn't conventional. It's psychedelic, obviously back in those days. We also have the one where, don't just say goodbye, and you're in the car driving. And then this is probably one of my favorite albums too. The Born to Die, Live to Rock. Mama J had some good tracks on there. So obviously Mama J, back in the days, she did rock and roll. She hung out with the best of them. She was doing it. So we obviously, love our Mama J. What is a concert experience? I mean, is there a story, like any kind of did you like lose tickets? Did you like leave your car, like keys in the car, like anything going to a concert that you can kind of take us back on?
I can give you one, but as for losing tickets, just a quick story. My parents had tickets to go to a concert and they got all ready to go. And my mom grabbed the tickets and the show was the night before. So unfortunately, they missed the show. And that was Linda Ronstadt. But I would say there's a lot of memorable moments of concerts. I would say one of the biggest, never lost tickets, never anything like that. We were at Irvine Meadows and we had seen Ozzy and we were leaving and my friend was driving and this guy came hobbling out of the bushes and she slammed on her brakes to avoid hitting him. And of course, we were young, crazy. So of course we're yelling and screaming at this guy. And all of a sudden we realized who he was. And it was Tracy Guns from a band called LA Guns. Needless to say, at the end of all of this, he signed our cassette because that's what we had back then was cassettes.
Okay, nice. Yeah, like I said, my mom, like they saved up they spent all their money to go fly to London and Paris to go see the Stones, and it's just so crazy how they are now. Did you have that kind of?
We've traveled, but never like that.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, it was basically for them. It was like sell everything they have, raise money, and get the tickets and go, to see the Stones in Paris. And it was just like, and a great experience. But at the same time, to take it to those extremes, now you have a wide variety of music. Is there an extreme that you've gone to go to a concert, or just to meet somebody, or I mean, maybe get an album?
Never an extreme. Usually, like I said, we sat right in the middle of being able to meet a lot of people, and um the most we've ever traveled was we have, and again, I'm in California, so I'm really close to Arizona. We've traveled to Phoenix, Arizona for a concert. We actually went out there, which worked because I was able to go to Coopertown, which is a restaurant owned by Alice Cooper. But we went out there to see ironically, oh, Topanga. We went out there ironically to see oh my god, my mind just went blank. Reba McEntire and
Super.
George
Yeah.
Strait. um, and then I've been to Vegas many, many times to see concerts. From anything from Guns N' Roses to Kenny Chesney to Tim McGraw. I mean, I like all kinds of music, so I'm able to see all different. Be able to go see all different kinds of bands and stuff like that.
Okay. And that's always nice. Some people, are set on, maybe they're just set on metal, or maybe they're just, rock and roll, or some people like just country. And it's always good to have a variety and pull from that. So this next segment I kind of wanted to do with you guys is I have a couple of quizzes
Okay.
for you to take. They're like 7 questions. So I just wanted to see how expert you might be in that field in regards. So generally, I can probably only pull one up at a time. So I think what I would do is, I'll pull Spectres. I think yours is set first. So I will do that. Let me pull that up for you.
And LJ, I have met Motley Crue also. Because back in the day, again, KNAC, big radio station here, they used to do rock and jock baseball games, and they would have all these 80s metal bands because it was the 80s, and they would play real athletes, and we'd get to be able to get tickets for charity and go watch the games. And we met a lot of people that way.
Yeah, I don't do country.
When I grew up, I didn't really. My
Used to.
mom was big in the country, but I didn't really get into it. But I mean, as I got older, I do. And I took my boys to a concert, Low Cash, and they actually got to meet the band, and they gave them they gave them some guitar picks, and they signed one of the drumsticks for them. So,
Cool.
okay. So right here, now this is an anime quiz, guys. So if you in the chat, if you want to participate, you're more than welcome. It's a 7-question anime quiz, but it's going to be for Spectre. I wanted to kind of test, his knowledge to come through. And then for Mama J, we have a little bit of variety of some of the things that she likes in regards, and just kind of see from there. So once again, 739-511. Let me go ahead. It's more so for, Spectre, but I know if there's some anime people in there that do want to, partake in the quiz, not a problem. It's just 7 questions, so it should go pretty good. Are you in there yet, Spectre?
I'm joining right now.
Okay. And Mama J, if you had an opportunity to go to a concert, you can pull anybody live and dead simultaneously. Who would you like to put into a concert? Like, what would be your ideal, concert to see?
My ideal concert would have to be 2 people I will never ever get to see, and that would be Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin.
Oh, okay.
Hands down, if I could pick anybody alive or dead to stand in front of me and play, Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin.
Yeah, and
because everybody else that I would want to stand in front of me already has. I've already seen them in concert, so I would have to pick somebody I haven't seen.
So no, how did you feel about Elvis Presley?
I loved Elvis Presley. His middle name is after Elvis Presley. Mm-hmm. Truthfully, I was supposed to see Elvis Presley when I was like 6 or 7. I think 7. But unfortunately, he died that same year. My mother is a obsessed Elvis Presley fan. So obviously Elvis was a big love for all of us.
Yeah. My Aunt Chris is huge on Elvis as well. And I think that's where I've gotten some of because I enjoy some of the songs. And
I love Elvis. And like
Yeah.
I said, his middle name is the same as Elvis's middle name. So, and it's like that on purpose.
Nice.
So,
And if I had to choose, I would choose Hendrix.
Hendrix would be awesome, but if I could only choose the two to play in front of me.
Okay, so you're in there now, Spectre?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and start this for you. And I'll continue with Mama J. Okay, so Mama J, when you look at like music, and for a lot of people, you know a lot. I mean, your knowledge is pretty vast. And I mean, I know when we've done like these, I know when we did the Jeopardy, I that Bret Michaels question, I knew it, but I was afraid to wager or put it down in case I was wrong. But when he said Bret Michaels, I was like, it's got Poison. But then he threw the other people in there, and I know, like, I'm thinking, okay, Mama J's in the chat. She's like giving these answers, and she's like, okay, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? So does knowledge, I mean, come pretty easy for you for rock and roll? I mean, is it just something that, because like I said, for me, sometimes I really have to think, I have to go back and be like, it could be or not.
I wouldn't say I'm as knowledgeable like that, but I mean, if I know it, I know it. If it's something I enjoy and something that I was probably into, I know it. Poison was my mother's favorite heavy metal band, or glam metal, whatever you want to call them, hair metal, heavy metal band back in the 80s. So, and that's what we fell to in the 80s. That's all we listened to in the 80s. Now I'm older, I listen to a lot of things, but hands down, if you were to go to and yes, I'm old school. I still have CDs in my car. If you go to my car and you're going to pull out the CDs to put one in, I would say 50% of them at least are all 80s metal bands.
Do you have some like really cool memorabilia, like some stuff that you held on to from the years?
In storage, I do. I have I have a couple drumsticks, one from Alice Cooper, one from the Bullet Boys, and one from Dokken. And then again, Alice Cooper, I'm sure you all know who that is. Bullet Boys, they were booed off stage when they opened for Poison, but the drummer lived down the street from a friend of mine. And then Dokken, for those that don't know who Dokken is, they did Dream Warrior from a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So people probably know that. And then I do have a cardboard leg of Alice Cooper from a show that I was at when he tore up a cardboard figure of himself and was throwing it out in the audience. I have tons of guitar picks. I have lots of memorabilia from Rick Springfield concerts, Bon Jovi concerts. It depends on what went on during that show. Like, from confetti to different things, I've kept a lot of that stuff. So I have it all in storage. And like I said, depending on who it was, I still held on. I mean, like I have a shirt that Toby Keith autographed, threw out into the audience. I have one of those, never worn, still folded up, put away. A lot of different memorabilia like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and memorabilia is really a cool thing to have. I know I have some horror stuff, and and I can only imagine some of the things that my aunt, my mom have. But I mean, just like
a lot of bought stuff, but actual stuff that you gathered from different things that happened at a concert or something. Those are the ones I feel are the rare ones because not everybody got those.
Do you keep the tickets? Do you keep the ticket stubs and everything? And
I do. I have a ton of ticket stubs put away. That's why I said I know for a fact easily hundreds of concerts with no question. There's times where I've sat and I'll be watching like YouTube music videos or something and a band. I'll be like, oh yeah, I did see that band, because I'll forget because I've seen so many until I look at them. Oh yeah, I have seen them.
Okay. All right. So we did finish. So Tats came in ahead in regards, and obviously and Tats does like his anime.
Because one question was
so I want to go through this. I want to go through this with you and just kind of see, and you can give me some feedback. So in the anime series Full Metal Alchemist, what did Alchemist consider the greatest taboo? and it does not give emotions with humans, taking legs off of toy ducks, human human transmutation, and transmuting lead into copper. So all four of you guys picked that one, so that is great. What is the name of the main character of the anime One Punch Man? Now, it is obviously how the correct spelling is how it comes into, and I believe it is Saitama, correct?
Yeah.
So that would be two of you guys that got that right. Two of you guys got that wrong. What was Ash Ketchum's second Pokemon? It was the Caterpie, or Caterpie. In Digimon, what is the Japanese name for the final evolutionary stage? And it is Ultimate, is what was something that I found to be.
Digimon.
So, but that would be Ultimate. And then in the Sailor Moon series, what is Sailor Jupiter's civilian name? And
Watch Sailor Moon either.
yeah, and that's one of the things I'll kind of get into this. So what happens when One for All is given to somebody who already has a quirk? Their quirk is amplified to insane levels. And then what is Kasuke Baguk? I don't know. I can't pronounce that thing.
Oh, he's just like you. Kasuke Bakugo.
Yeah, that's you say that. That's a mouthful right there. But Kachan is what it came up. So, like I said, we just did that anime quiz there for you. Congratulations, Tats, for doing that. Now I know, like I said, you're not a Sailor Moon or Digimon, but so would you consider Sailor Moon, a strong? I mean, is that falling in the anime category?
So yeah, it does fall in the anime category. It's kind of like Fruit Basket and Inuyasha, where it's very oriented to the female audience more than the male audience.
Okay.
But Sailor Moon's been around for so long. Like, I know a lot of guys who do watch it, but it's also kind of like the meme anime, because there's a game that you play when you go to anime conventions called the Sailor Shots. And what you do is you look at all the males who are dressed like Sailor Moon, in the skimpy shirts and stuff like that, and skirts, and you take a shot every time you see one.
Oh,
and I asked a friend on my first anime convention, I'm like, how bad is it? Because I was actually working it. I'm like, how bad could it be? He's like, just take a list. And I'm like, okay. So I had a little notepad, I was marking it down, and there was about 38 shots I would have had to take that day.
All right, well, we'll get a little bit more into some anime too. We'll have so now, Mama J, this is your quiz. Joinmyquiz.com, and if you guys do want to do this also in hey Slapshot Pops, KNL, Iconic Odd, how are you guys? Geeky Mama Bear.
Everybody popping in. Hello.
Yeah.
So let's see, 873-325. That is the code for Join My Quiz.
I don't normally do these quizzes, so give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I mean, usually you guys you're putting them on, but that's why I wanted to do a little bit different this time. And then, like I said, Spectre, I just kind of wanted with you, just kind of, because of the anime, and I know, like I said, why do you think it is that some people just don't like it? I mean, I mean, I don't have anything strong against it. I never got into it. I mean, I do think the pops look good, but I mean, like, it does seem that when you do get some mystery boxes, that the anime does have a tendency to pop up quite a bit. I don't know if it's their dumps from the warehouse or not, but it's just like, it's like, you hear people like anime. And like I said, they'll toss it to the side, or, some people are prized to have it. So we'll get into that in a second. Let me go ahead. So are you in now, Mama J?
I am in, yes.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and start this through. Once again, it's 7 questions, so we'll see how you guys stack up. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, Spectre, what would you say, to someone that has never seen anime, or they're new to it? Like, how would you put them on anime and say, you know what, this is something that you might enjoy, try this, or how would you recommend anime to someone?
So I think the hardest thing to recommend an anime to someone who's never watched anime and may be like off-putted is they have that mindset that it's a cartoon. And adults are like, why would I want to watch a cartoon that's childish? Um, but it's you got to explain to them like, hey, it's not a cartoon. There's some actually pretty hardcore stuff in here, and then see like what other things they like. Like for you, Eric, I know you like horror,
Mm-hmm.
so I would recommend horror anime. Um,
Now, is it just? I mean, when you hear anime, I mean, for someone the first time, you think, okay, anime. Like sometimes people hear it in such a negative term. Why do you think that is?
I think it goes back to people thinking it's just cartoons, like childish cartoons.
But I mean, we love our Yogi Bear, Scooby Doo, Woody Woodpecker, Tom and Jerry. I mean, those are cartoons. I mean, Simpsons is the longest running, TV show out there.
Yeah,
Uh,
but with Simpsons, it's an adult cartoon, like off the bat. Yogi Bear and Woody Woodpecker, those are classic cartoons. So like you have that mindset, like this is what we grew up with, as opposed to anime. People might think it's like, oh, Kim Possible, Danny Phantom, and Pokemon, and it just makes zero sense. And there's a lot to get with some animes. Like Pokemon, it's easy. You catch a little monster and you throw it back out. Horror animes, there's High School of the Dead, like Iconic put, or High School DxD, stuff like that. It's you see it and you're like, oh hey, this is actually kind of cool, and it's simple, but like then you get animes like One Piece where for instance, Zoro, he's just a regular human with 3 swords, but he's incredibly strong. But then you have people who eat these special fruits and gain unworldly powers, but they can't swim anymore, which makes zero sense in a pirate universe.
Yeah.
Because fall overboard, you're dead.
okay. Now, if you can only watch one anime show, right, and like you're stripped from watching all anime, you can only pick one show. What are you picking?
I had to pick one anime to watch, and that's it.
Yep.
Would probably be Naruto.
Naruto. Okay.
And
So
that's because it's long, it's so good to watch, and it has probably one of the best stories I've finished. One Piece hasn't finished, so I can't say One Piece.
Okay, so the storyline. Okay. And I think that's kind of obviously, if you have a good story, I mean, it's important, obviously, the hook, to bring you in. So like Iconic Odd, he says that he doesn't know why he hated anime. I put that back up. He never watched it till he met Nicole, but it was kind of put in his head, to not like it. And, sometimes we're trained in that sense, like, anime. But I mean, if somebody sits down, they might say like, hey, this isn't that bad. And I know, like I said, from the pop version, there's a lot of really good looking pops out there. The glow in the darks and just the style, they're really heavy. Yeah, you got that dragon, so there's a lot of cool, animes from that sense. So let me ask you, Spectre, once again, because you and your mom, your mom. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You tell me who it would be, either your mom or you. Who would have a 20-minute conversation with Siri?
Only because I'd be trying to get it to work.
You can't have the conversation would start. Siri. No, Mom, you have to say, hey, Siri.
Okay, so Mama J came in, unsafe name, and then Funko Unicorn. So let's go ahead real quick. So which Baywatch star appears in season 2 episode, The Thrilla and Phila? She makes out with Griffin Hawkins in the episode. It was Yasmin Bleeth. She was the one who did that. And then in the season 6 episode, Better Than the Average Corey, Jack saves Rachel's life with the Heimlich maneuver. What type of food does Rachel choke on? It was not grapes or a corn dog. It was a hot dog. Then season 5, Heartbreak Corey. Corey sprains his ankle while on a skiing trip. and spends the day with him while everyone else goes skiing. And then there's a girl and they kiss. What is that girl's name? It is Lauren. Try to throw some different names in there to kind of throw you off. What band was formed from the Yardbirds? It was Led Zeppelin. And Ozzy's first band is considered one of the first true heavy metal bands in rock history. What was the name of his band? And it was Black Sabbath. Why was rocker Ozzy Osbourne banned from San Antonio, Texas in the 1980s? Yes, he urinated on the Alamo. He did not bite the head off of a bat. He did do that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the biting the head off the bat is a false story altogether. It was not a bat.
Okay, we'll ask
And
you.
that's why whenever someone says biting the head off a bat, you know they don't really know, because the truth be, he was in an interview for signing a record contract or something, and he bit the head off of a dove.
Okay. All right. See, and I didn't know that. See, you guys, like I said, I've always heard the bat, but now we know.
Because it sounds better with it being Ozzy to say a bat than a dove.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, plus,
It just sounds better.
So what is Rizzo's first name? It is Betty Rizzo from Greece. Okay. So nice job on that, Mama J. Awesome. So who, once again, to go back between Mama J and Spectre, who changes the song every 30 seconds?
I'm not even going to deny it. It's me. If it's not something that clicks with me, I'm a flipper on the radio.
She'll be flipping, and I'm like, "Oh, there's a good song." No. Red Solo Cup now. Oh, hey, look, there's another good song. No, there it goes.
Who always falls asleep on the couch? He's quick.
On the
couch. Who would get trapped by a revolving door?
It's going too fast.
That's not true.
Who refuses to ask for directions? Mama J, you're gonna take the credit for all these?
He's not lying. So
who fixes everything with duct tape?
My grandfather and him. When my grandfather was alive, everything got fixed with duct tape.
Duct tape.
Two tools you need: duct tape and WD-40. If it's loose, it's not supposed to. Duct tape. If it's too tight, it's not supposed to. WD-40.
Okay, last one. Who sits at a stop sign waiting for it to turn green?
That's only on certain days. Ask LJ.
All right. So let's go. I'm going to get to the next segment. So let's get into a little commercial. Let me make sure I pull up the right one because, all right. So once again, like I said, Wonder Woman came out yesterday. We do consider Mama J our Wonder Woman, and we have a little preview. All right, so that's going to be heading out to the theaters here. That you guys got it. We had the 1984, but now you guys get to see the Wonder Woman 1970 version. That one's going to be even good. Make sure you guys watch the credits. You know, you never know what's going to go on with that, right, Mama J? So Mama J does have some adventures. And speaking of adventures, I know that they are on their way right now, Mama J. There's been a report. Okay, I have this news report that's coming in. They are on the way, and they are very furious and upset. So one of the things that we would like to know is there's a story in regards with you.
Okay, LJ. Everyone knows how old I am, and Eric's the same age as me. Just FYI.
Yes, we share the same age. But like I said, we're smart. we're good looking, we're beautiful, we're all that, so we're okay with it.
As for the ducks, you know, a lot of people have heard. Well, that duck will live. A lot of people have heard the story, and a lot of people are asking for the story. Um, there's many things that lead up to that, and I'm going to tell you the best thing is the video that Gilbert dropped. You know, months and months and months ago. So.
What it so what is the thing? So you guys obviously want to check that video out, but it's been something that has stayed with you. So I mean, ducks, you know, like I said, it's, you know, is that something now where, you know, like, I mean, you almost have to kind of roll with it as much as possible, because like I said, it's funny. There's a lot behind it, you know, and when people first hear it, they're thinking, Mama J, she took the legs off of ducks? Like, oh my.
Well, I can tell you a quick version of the story. I sent a box to Canada for Just a Brat, and in that box included the fireman Donald Duck. Well, I don't know what happened, but it had nothing to do with me, people. During the travel, by the time that it got to Just a Brat, and she opened the box and took the pop out, both of Donald's legs had fallen off. So it became a joke between Sin, myself, and then Gilbert and Justa, and it just slowly started growing. And so it became pretty funny that I would break the legs off a duck. And then it just continued. There was another incident, I don't even remember, but then we had an incident where we opened boxes from Pops with Purpose, and I got a Donald Duck
Monsters Inc.
Yeah, from that game.
From Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, from Kingdom Hearts. And when we opened it up, Donald's leg had come off, so it kind of looked funny. There was another incident where I sent McDorks some mystery minis, and one of them was one of Donald Duck's nephews. And when it got to the McDorks, the leg was missing. So it's just continuous stuff where the legs keep falling off. And then Gilbert, when he was on looking for something, he found a Tony the Tiger, a Tony the Tiger Funko Pop with no head being sold on Macari or eBay or something. And all of a sudden he's like, are you stealing heads now too? So it just became a big joke.
So you guys need to check that out. Obviously, it is a big joke. It's fun. There's a lot of video in regards to that. So make sure you check out Dankster TV and tell him to let him tell you about it, because it's definitely a lot going on with that. So, you know, Mama J, you know, we love our kids, you know, and being a parent also means taking care of ourselves, us, and setting aside time for you. And this means different things to different people. But what do you do to, you know, for you to take care of you? It always seems in the community, you know, you're always active, you're taking care of people, you know, doing things for people, shout outs, you know, all kinds of stuff, you know, your lives and everything. But what does Mama J do for Mama J?
Honestly, I'm happy when other people are happy. So if I can do something to help people in the community be happy, or to bring people together in the community as a family, you know, those are the things that I enjoy. Prior to all of this pandemic, you know, the only things I really did for myself was like if we went to concerts or we went, you know, on a trip somewhere or something like that. But other than that, I don't really have time to stop and do things for myself. You know,
Duck leg is delicious. Hate the culinary trapper. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because you're an Eeyore fan. You know, you like your Eeyore.
Been collecting Eeyore for years. Have tons of them.
Yeah, so he's been right up there. And when I was looking at something on the chat, you know, online and stuff, it said, "How do you know that Eeyore is your spirit animal?" And so when you look at Eeyore, you know, one of the things that was on there, it says that you have a big heart, you love your friends and family more than anything. And if it starts to rain, you're the one to remind people that it will stop. Well, it did rain a lot this year. We did have a lot of dark moments, throughout, but you were always one that would be able to tell people, the rain is going to stop, and you would provide that sunshine and provide that positive and be able to do that on a continuous basis. If you look back on a lot of your videos, you guys are constantly, dropping on Instagram. I mean, the vlogmas, doing that on an everyday basis, I mean, I know it's got to be grueling and tiring to go through that, but you did it. Walk us through some, like, what it means, your channel, like, so much work you put into it. Like, is this something that you guys work together on? I mean, do you put bounce a lot of ideas off of? I mean,
well, in all honesty, most of the ideas and most of the content are provided by me. I do bounce them off of him, some of them, and ask him what he thinks of certain things. But like I said, mostly this was set for me, and I just couldn't do it alone. It was just one of those things that bothered me at first. That's how he got stuck. But yeah, no, I try to come up with, like, with the Vlogmas, we went back and forth about it. And I'll be honest, me and Geeky had spoke about it, and she said she was going to do it. And I said, oh, you know what? I'll do it too. Let's make a bet, between her, I, and King Bob. I was going to say Robert, but King Bob. We made a bet that we would complete these 24 days, or we had to eat the hot chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were able to do it, but when I watched other people's Vlogmas, I'm like, and I told him I would get bored doing the same thing every day, and not only that, but we film groups of videos at a time, and then I just edit them and drop them. But so, like, with the Vlogmas, we film 5 to 7 videos at a time, until all the way up to the last. We saved the last day for as long as possible, but other than that, I just wanted something different. I didn't want people to come every day and watch me open the 2 advent calendars, open a mini mystery, and do nothing else. I didn't really have, a lot of other things I wanted to open or show off. So I said, you know what? Let's just try to make it fun for people. And that's why we had multiple different giveaways. Like, the contests for the last ones are still going on. We won't pick the winner till Tuesday. But I just try to make it different with the Vlogmas. And, we've tried other things with our videos to see if they work. They don't work. If they don't work, we move on to something else.
Well, I thought it was really, fun to watch, be able to see a toy where, you have a horse in front, or you have a guy behind a horse, and, the horse is in front of the princess, or you have the Batman and the Robin, being able to find those little, find stuff like that just relates to the holidays, and that's what made it fun
to go and watch. And funny for people to watch,
And I mean, and even sitting down with, the emojis and things like that, just giving you an opportunity to watch something and be like you're part of it, and I know when JLH did his Funko, 24 days, and I was really, really working on getting the pops and naming them, and I was ready to go. And then when I messaged her and she said, Mama J beat you. And I was like, and I didn't know that you, like, I'm like thinking Mama J is busy with her Vlogmas. She's not gonna, she's not gonna do this, and then it's like, they're like, oh, Mama J beat you. And I was like, okay.
And what's funny is, and you can even ask Geeky Mama, when we were talking, I enjoy watching JLH. Okay. The more I've watched their videos, they're very entertaining. I like the fact that Allison follows him around with the camera. It gives you much more of an interactive feeling with their videos. And I wasn't going to do the pop a day. And I even had told Geeky Mama, I am not going to do that. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to rush to get that answer, because it was only one winner, right? Yeah. And I said, but I'll do the ornament of the day. And so I had been watching, and then on the last day, it was like, I'm watching people throw up their answers and they're telling them, nope, so close, nope. So, and I'm thinking, well, I have these written down. Let me just send them over to him, right? And I wrote down whatever the last one was for that day. And I sent it over to him, and he said, "Oh, you're so close." And I said, "All right, well, same as everyone else. I don't know what I'm missing." And so I looked at a couple of them that I had doubled the answer on, because they did leave the same one a couple days in a row. And I went back and
Are you
checked, and
talking about the pop? Are you talking about the pops or the ornaments?
the pops.
Okay, yeah.
And so I went back and I corrected one of the answers, and I sent it to them again. And I said, "Here, I corrected one. I don't know." Because I didn't fast forward the video, and they didn't show the ornament or the pop until, I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe 20 minutes into it,
Yeah,
like
20 minutes in or something. So I thought for sure people would fast forward and I would never win. And I sent him the answer, and he's like, "Oh, you got it. You won." I'm like, "I did? I didn't even expect to win."
I was watching, but I couldn't see him pull it out of his thing. I was able to do the ornaments and I had that down, but I was like, all right, whatever. And, it was fun though. I mean, I did that with, I got an opportunity just to it was just fun. Hey, TK Batcave, how are you, bud?
I just think it's nice when you get to interact with the video. That's why I did the emoji thing. And then with the other games, and we're looking at some other things coming up in the new year. We've already been speaking with Geeky, because as you know, we do our Tuesday lives, which will continue. Cat on the keyboard. We will continue with our lives on Tuesday. So we're trying to come up with a few new ideas for that. And we do have one. We're not going to announce it just yet because I have to finish working out the details. But hopefully either next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, we will announce what one of the new things we're going to do is. We just, we want to make it fun for people. Just like when we do our lives, we try to make sure we always include the chat. We feel that's very important.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that that I see, when you go in and you understand, like, people that do realize, with the chat, and like even like with this particular show that I have, it's a more of a sit down with you, the person I'm interviewing. I try to acknowledge the chat as they're coming in. I try to acknowledge them throughout as much as possible, but I know you guys do that. McDorks, they do that. Geek Mom, and I've kind of like learned to say, okay, like that's something that is important, because they're coming in to spend time with you. And I've done that where I've been in a chat where the panel, they've just been talking and talking and
They
talking.
don't even say hi one time.
Yeah, and then you're like, or you ask a couple of questions and they don't respond, and you just feel like, okay, well, you could do that in your own Zoom behind doors or whatever. So but that was one of the things I was going to ask you was, looking forward in 2021, things that you have on the plate. But just kind of round things out a little bit for you. Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, I do.
So what do you think that maybe you possibly were in a past life?
Probably a cat.
Cat?
But I can tell you what I'll be in my future life. Why are you laughing?
Because I know the answer.
Go ahead then, give the answer.
A record album.
I've already made plans that when I die, I am going to be cremated, and you can have your ashes turned into a record album. And he already knows that's what you are to do with my ashes.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that. That's so you can turn it. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Birthday, Michael from McDorks. I guess it's his birthday. They're going to dinner.
Happy birthday! Have a good dinner. Happy birthday, guys. We love you. What's the process of that? Like, I mean, so they take your ashes and they construct it into and so what?
They press it into a record.
Yeah,
album.
they press it into the record album. So your ashes are like mixed in with that record album. And the thing is there's many ways you can do it. You can choose to be one record album, and you can choose something that will play from both sides of the album. I always joke and say one side, I want Bon Jovi's Live While I'm Alive and Sleep While I'm Dead. And on the other side, I would like It's My Life. But he keeps telling me I need to leave a message. So when he plays it for his kids, he can slap the record player when it starts to skip and say, "Hey guys, there's your grandma," And, but you can also choose to have multiple 45s made if you want to, I guess, leave them to different people. I don't know. For example, my uncle passed away
You
last
take half
year.
of mom.
Huh?
You take half of
Oh.
mom, and I'll take the other half.
Passed away a little over a year ago from the flu, when the flu was so bad, and he was he was planted into a tree, so he'll grow to be a tree
Okay.
in Utah, but he's still planted to be a tree.
So take us back to 1983. What's it like being a teenager for Mama J? Like, what was teenage years like?
In 1983, well, I discovered Bon Jovi that year. I also discovered my favorite football team that year. um,
Is it still the
so
Giants? I mean, did you like the Giants, right? The New
I'm
York
a New
Giants.
York Giants fan, yeah, and I have been since I was 13. I've stuck with the same team. I'm not a bandwagon person. I don't jump on a bandwagon. Live or die, I'm a New York Giants fan. We don't make it to the Super Bowl often, but when we make it, we win it. So it's like
I mean, they beat Tom Brady. You know, the Patriots. I mean, that was a good Super Bowl. When you look back at some of the Super Bowls that they've had, or the playoffs. I know against the Niners, they've had some, really good playoff games. In regards. So have you always has sports been something that has been part of your life?
I'm not big on sports in any way, shape, or form. My parents are very big in football, so you had to have a football team no matter what. When he was little, he had football outfits from Denver Broncos headquarters, the Dallas Cowboy headquarters. My mother owned her own travel agency, and she had quite a few clients that did a lot of traveling. And so anytime they went somewhere that they knew my mother loved football, anytime they went somewhere that they were close to a headquarters for a football stadium, they would actually go there and, because they were fans or whatever. But this one had outfits from all over the place for different football teams. So you want to know what team he was rooting for, because he was always in a different team. But no, I was never big on any kind of sports. But in my house, in my family's household, you had to have a football team. So,
Okay. Well, so Mama J, let's say we're setting up a dinner date, and you get to go to have dinner with any celebrity out there that you want, and you have an opportunity to just hang out. What celebrity are you taking to dinner?
that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. If I was saying just for a sit down conversation kind of dinner,
I mean, because you figure just basically, like I said, you go have dinner. Maybe it's they're like, hey, let's go bowling, or let's do something fun, or play miniature golf. You're looking at just somebody that you'd be like, you could probably see yourself having a cool night with, hanging out.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Mine's one of 4 people.
Huh?
Mine's one of 4 people.
Well, there's a lot of people that I would love, that I think would be awesome to spend some time with. I see Caitlin saying Linda Carter, and that was the first person that popped into my mind for a sit-down conversation. And probably hanging out would be a blast. So if I had to pick a female person, it would be her. But if I had to pick a male celebrity,
so let's give you both. So you get a female and a male. So your female is Linda Carter.
it's going to be Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Okay.
It's going to be Hugh Jackman. Holy hell, it's going to be Hugh Jackman. So
obviously, Hugh. What about you, Spectre?
For sit down conversation, it would probably be between Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp. And for hanging out, 100% Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, and then female wise?
So you're saying that 100% it's going to be Ryan Reynolds. You think that you guys would just kind of hang out and get along, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Female wise,
Don't say Britney Spears.
it's a bit of a harder one.
don't know.
Well, I mean, that's fine. You know, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, female wise, I mean, you got to take your time, you know, and think about it. So, I'll give you to come back on that. Mama J, have you ever had a paranormal experience? Like, as growing up, have you ever, you know, maybe seen a ghost or felt a presence or had something, you know, paranormal wise?
Okay, so let's start here. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes, 100%. Do I believe ghosts exist? Yes, 100%. Same thing as, you know, I do 100% believe in all of that. High school wise, we were very obsessed with the Ouija board, and we spent a lot of time with the Ouija board. And yeah, I'm going to tell you that there were things that happened that were unexplainable. You know.
No, I mean, I totally get it. There was one summer, my cousin and I were at the dinner table, and we saw a guy walk down the hallway and go into my aunt's room, and we both saw the same thing, described it to a T. So I mean, I totally I get that. I know that, you know, my mom, you know, back in the day, she used to have these Victorian doll posters on her wall, and I swear that they would always seem like they're looking at you every time you'd walk around. The eyes were following you. She had a Tupperware party. I was probably about 13, and the candle got up. It actually, I swear, like it got up out of the holder and moved, and then went back in. So I mean, you know, there's some stuff that, you know, the unexplainable stuff. You know, there's a lot of things out there. I still to this day, my mom woke me up at 3:30 in the morning, and I don't know if you've ever done a SPECTRE or not, but she woke me at 3:30 in the morning. She said, Eric, you need to come outside. There's a UFO. And I get up and I'm walking, and it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm looking out the glass window, and it was a street lamp. And I was like, Mom, that's not a UFO. It's a street lamp. So the way the shape of the street lamp and the light and the reflection, you know, lo and behold, she thought it was a UFO. So I was just like, all right.
I've never seen a UFO, but do I believe there's life on other planets? 100%. 100%. And people can think I'm crazy. And I mean, you know, first of all, I was a teenager in the 80s, and we all know what the 80s held. Okay. I remember being at a concert and turning around, and I will lay my life down, and he laughs at me every time, that I came face to face with a vampire. The feel, the look in his eyes, I have never ever felt that way in my life. I felt like a coldness take my body over, and I felt like he was looking right into me. And he had the fang teeth, and we all know you can shave your teeth to be like that or wear fake teeth. But there was just so much more to that face-to-face experience.
Oh God. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that would creep me out 100%.
He laughs. He thinks I'm crazy.
So I'm just around the corner with this. I just had a couple of quick things I wanted to touch on. Now I know in the summer you talked about for your birthday you're wanting to go see the bears in Alaska. Now I don't know. Now, like I said, I know Geeky Mama Bear was there. You missed, and this is one of the things you missed out on. She had a fight. You know, we have she was going to her sword fight.
Bears I want to see.
And that's so we wanted to kind of bring you some little bit of footage with that. But the bears, they are coming to you now. They're on their way. They're traveling. They heard the stories, so they're making their rounds. But
I do want to go to Katmai, which is Brook Falls in Alaska. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. They do have it's off season right now, but during on season they have live feeds set up throughout this place. The bears run free. They're not caged. There are certain pathways that you must stay on. There's a lot of rules. No food, not even gum. The only drink you're allowed to have is water when you're out walking around. And there, like I said, there's certain pathways and places you have to be. There's usually a guide with you because the bears, I mean, the thing is the bears have to be used to seeing the people because the people go there to visit. There are cabins, and they are blocked off by electric fences to keep the bears out. There's a certain place you have to eat. You can't eat or have food anywhere else. But you fly up to Katmai. You can stay there if you want. And you get to pretty much walk and be among the bears. I mean, you do have a cabin, but when you're out during the day and stuff, um, I've seen people where if the bears fall asleep on your trail, you have to wait, and you will sit and wait for them to get up and move. Or if you have a guide that knows an alternative route, um, but it looks like an amazing experience. We are still planning on doing that. Unfortunately, due to the virus this year, it was supposed to be my 50th birthday present, but now it's been postponed from my parents because they will go also. So maybe next year, the year after, but it is a lottery thing. So you have to be able to get a spot to get in.
Oh, okay. So, and because I mean, because you had the spot, I mean, they're not going to allow the people that had the spot this year to.
They let you have the option. They told you could still come, but there were so many restrictions with that, and you weren't going to be able to go out and do the things that you would normally do because you couldn't go out in the groups that they'd have you in. It limited you to what you would be allowed to do. So we decided to wait.
Okay.
And we weren't sure as it got closer to that time how the virus, if they were going to cancel things or what exactly was going to happen, and we didn't want to take that chance also. So
Nice. Well, Mama J and Spectre, I really appreciate it. Obviously 2021, there's a lot to come forward. We obviously have to still turn a corner, with this virus thing and get it behind us to allow certain things to happen, such as cons and just some of the things that we do. And when we do get to some normalcy, I'm sure there's going to be some changes in the way that some of us are on YouTube and everything. But I know it's a lot of fun to watch the box battles, to see you guys on your videos, your lives on Tuesdays, just seeing you in the chat, the way that you guys, are able to spark that community. We really appreciate it. Mama J, we obviously think that, you are our Wonder Woman, and, you are definitely a rock star 100%. But to both of you, you guys are definitely a superstar in this community. And, myself, that's why I wanted to have you to end the season and the year. We've had an amazing year, and we've met some amazing people, and the way that this community has banded together for a lot of different things. And we don't necessarily have, some people have had the opportunity to meet and some people haven't, but
I met a few people.
Yeah, but there's just the way that you get that feeling that if you did meet, that connection's there. We've all embraced.
I'm going to tell you, I met Yoj obviously when he was down here at Bands for Arms, and meeting Yoj was like we've known each other forever. It was like running into an old friend. The same thing when we met Pops with Purpose. And then I met Big Country Time also, all at Bands for Arms, but. Especially like Yoj, because me and Yoj have had a friendship for so long. Same thing with Pops with Purpose. Running into them was like running into an old friend.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is the friendship continues in 2021. And there's new channels on the horizon that have been coming through. Like the Rue Crew. You got Clara. You have a lot of channels. The Culinary Trapper just started his. You do a lot of shout outs for channels. King Bob, you recently did for him.
Doing Pops with Purpose. I'd like them to reach 1K before the end of the year, because we leave no one behind, and they've been growing with us, and they're the last one left to get to 1K in our little.
So, and that's the thing, guys. There's a lot of channels out there that have done really well, and that should get that recognition in that sense. Like with Pops of Purpose, they're great channels. If you guys have not, if anybody in the mods can link Pops of Purpose, it'd be great. What have you got going on for them? I know that there was something you posted. Are you doing like a giveaway or something?
Okay, so let me explain, because I have a lot going on right now. We needed to get Caitlin to 1K. We got Caitlin to 1K. I will be doing a mystery box giveaway January 6th, I think it is. It'll be on Tylock's channel. I also offered a giveaway, which I will do at the same time I do Pops with Purpose, for Eric reaching 1K. And then now, if we can get Pops to Purpose to 1K by the end of the year, we will also do a mystery box giveaway for them.
Awesome. And there's some other channels that are on the horizon as well. I know McDorks is climbing, and I know they're a channel.
Help McDorks before get to the 500. My thing is, I'm gonna steal this, and I steal it all the time, but I always give her props for it. Funko Pops and Unicorns, Caitlin always says, it's not a competition. It's a community. Okay. So we're a community, we just need to band together, help each other, do what we need to do. Some channels get close to their goals. We want to help them reach their goals. I don't care if their goal is 100 or if they're way past me and they're trying to hit 5,000. I don't care. I'm not here to try to outgrow anybody, and I'm not here. Slapshot, there last time I looked, about 75 away, I think.
Oh, I saw one where they were like 60 away.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, I thought it was 75. But I really, really, like I said, that's one of my goals. My thing is we need to grow as a community, and here's the thing. We all wanted to get to 1,000. It doesn't change. Everything's still the same. But at least you hit that next milestone. That's why I said, I don't care if someone's trying to reach 100 or 5,000. If they need help and we can help them, that's what I'm going to do.
Because like I said, we've all been there and we've had that support. I remember the first time we got 100, and I remember you helping shout us out. Geeky Mama has helped us. There's been a lot of people in this community that just come together to help people. And like Slapshot Pops, I know he's 30 away from 1K.
He's close too then.
Yeah.
And so, there also.
And that's the thing is you have amazing channels that, and we're not all doing the same stuff exactly the same. We have our own ways of doing stuff, but we all, like puzzle pieces, we all fit. And we present an image, a picture that this community rocks. And that's why you heading into this show at the end of the year, is what I wanted, because you are the glue. Mama J, you've done amazing amount of stuff. And I just want to say, for me personally, I appreciate it and thank you. We love you. We appreciate everything you've done for, me and my boys. Just seeing the amazing job you've done with Spectre. Hats off to you. I know it's a hard thing to raise a child, on your own. I've seen it with my mom. I've done it myself. And it is, not an easy task, but you will always be. And remember, Spectre, a mom will forgive, but she will never forget. And, and that's the thing is, guys, love your moms, give them a call, give them a hug, let them know, because like I said, moms are always there. They're always going to be there for you. And, that's going to be through the test of time. So like I said, you are a superstar. We appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging out and spending some time with us. We're closing out this year. I think, the next show will begin kicking off the new year. So a lot on the horizon, a lot of fun times ahead. So keep your eyes open for things that are going on. And we are a community. So we stand tall together, guys, and we help each other. So this is Eric, Two Boys and Their Pops, in the spotlight with Mama J and Spectre. And let me go ahead and send them out. Like I said, I got my clips. So this has been In the Spotlight. We appreciate it. We hope you guys have a great day. Mama J, Spectre, do you guys want to say anything to the chat as we're heading out?
Not really. Watch us on IG. We got a new swap coming.
All right, we got a new swap. Looking forward to it. All right, guys. Well, take care. God bless. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And let's get ready to rock 2021. Take care, guys.
Bye, everybody.